Greetings to all of you. So we move today, starting this week, to a completely different philosopher from Plato, Aristotle. Although Plato was Aristotle's teacher, Aristotle does not think about the world in the same way in which Plato does, especially when you think about a human being. We discussed that for Plato, we have the separation between soul and body. The two of them seem to be um, things in themselves. That is, they do not depend for their existence on the other one. However, of course, the human being depends on the cooperation between the soul and the body, even if the body was a prison for Plato. Now, for Aristotle, who is very much a scientist, a man of science, things take another approach. When you think about Aristotle, it's probably safe to consider him as someone who wants to understand what a living thing is. So he is really a biologist. For example, if he goes in Athens and he sees a butterfly, he does not want to know the soul of this particular butterfly. Why this butterfly is the butterfly he is as an individual thing. Or even if you think about human beings, suppose me, right? If he looks at me, he doesn't think about Tavi, who Tavi is, what makes Tavi's soul so particular and so special or so different than all other souls. Because he's a because he's a scientist, he wants to understand a particular human being as what makes him, that particular human being, a human being. So it's not what makes me Tavi, this particular, with my particular life, but what makes me a human being, what I have that makes me a human being that is complete. This is why you have it on this slide that we talk about the entelechia of a natural being, or the first being fully itself of a natural body that has life as its potency. So for each living thing, we recognize in that living thing something that is similar to all the other living things within the same species. If you look at me, if you look at you, if you look at all human beings around you, regardless of their race, regardless of their nationality, regardless of their gender, regardless of their age, there is something that makes them the same. I have a human soul, you have a human soul, your friends have human souls. So all of us have human souls, regardless of what we mean by that for the moment. For Aristotle, the question is, what is that thing which makes all of us be human? And that is indeed a human soul, and that he calls entelechia of a natural being. But remember, do not understand, and we'll talk about it more in the following slides, do not understand the soul or the entelechia of a natural being something different than the body, something existing within the body. If you look at the quote you have here on the first slide, the soul is the first being fully itself of a natural body. So it's my body being the kind of thing that it is. The soul is not separate from the body, but it is a body being the kind of thing that it is. We'll talk more about it once we continue.